Diane in Denmark here, and welcome back to another video where I take you through what I've been decluttering this week. Let me just set my timer. There we go. The magic timer is going for 15 minutes. And I hope, as always, when you're watching one of these videos that you've done your routines, you're dressed. I am dressed to shoes. I've still got my indoor lace-up shoes on right now. I'm heading out for appointments, but all I have to do is put on some red lipstick and put on my jacket and put on some heels instead of those, and I'm good to go. Anyway, let's get into it. Now, remember what I've told you before. I have been doing Flylady for, 12 years, and I go through both, I go through all different methods of decluttering. Sometimes, I go gung-ho and attack an area like, the garage or something in the basement. But as I've been with Flylady for 12 years, I've got less and less to declutter, because by decluttering all the time, it really focuses us in on what we are bringing into the house, what we are buying. So the items that I'm going to show you, you're not going to see a lot of things like makeup, toiletries, not even clothes these days, because I've managed to curb my spending in those areas. It was kind of impulse buying and looking for something to cheer me up, so I would buy a new lipstick or something, and I occasionally fall into the habit of Friday afternoon and I do something like that, but it doesn't happen very often these days, because I know that in the long run, unless I'm really going to use it and enjoy it, I'm just going to end up throwing it away at some point. So anyway, let's go on to what I have been doing. And remember, what we've been talking about is that I declutter. I try and declutter one item per day. And that may not sound like much to you if you haven't got into the way of decluttering. But if you did our 40-day challenge, we took the pressure off ourselves and we said we're just going to take one item. We've only got to throw out one item per day. If we threw out more than one item per day, that was a bonus, but it had to be one item every day for 40 days, and that's what we did. And suddenly we saw, some days you would throw away 3 or 4 things, some days you would throw away 20 things, and other days it would just be one thing, and that is fine. That's all we're going for. So let me show you what we have decluttered since last week. And actually, most of the stuff this week has been the kids. My kids started school. One started today, one started yesterday. And, at the weekend, we went through their baskets of shoes. You may have seen in my videos where I'm cleaning in the hall, baskets of shoes. We went through their shoes, their sport shoes. So, there was a pair of my son's kind of fancy shoes. He hasn't worn them in a year. And we're just going to smarten those up a bit, and those can actually, they've been worn about 3 times. They were bought for a special occasion, and they are going to go to the charity shop, so somebody else will be able to use those. But the majority of the shoes are old sports shoes, and nobody else is going to be able to use these. They're really just fit for recycling. So those are going to go into recycling, and I've got 3 pairs of my daughter's shoes in there. So all those are going out to recycling. So I was really looking forward to doing this video today, because I've had these kind of lying around the house, and now I want to get them out. And over here, oh, hold on, there's more. And that is another 2 pairs of my son's shoes, which are going into recycling. So that's another lot. Right, what else have I got? Oh, this is one of my items. Now, talking about clothes, I am really good these days at not buying clothes, and thank you for all your lovely comments, asking me where I buy my clothes. And to tell you the truth, a lot of the stuff I have had for years and years and years, or something like this dress, I love this dress, and I bought it on sale, and I managed to find it secondhand in a different colour. So when I've got something that I know works, I've probably got 2, one in red and I've got one in blue. But here is an example of something that didn't work. I was over visiting my mum and I bought some pajamas, and goodness knows what possessed me to buy these pajamas, but this is the top, and then there was kind of matching leggings. And my daughter did kind of give me that look thinking, Mum, why are you buying those? Because that's not really your style. And when we came back from Scotland, I realised I shouldn't have bought them, and I got rid of the leggings. They went to the charity shop, and you know, I wore them once and I thought, washed them, and I thought, I'm not going to wear these again. And I've realised that this top of the pyjamas really isn't for me, and I should have known better, because these days I'm really quite good at, you know, I go into the store and if I look at it and say, okay, I quite like that, and then I wait a week. But because I was in Scotland and I was with my mum and I was all excited, I got carried away and I bought something, and you know, I couldn't exchange it. Anyway, that is going that's going out as well to charity shop. My daughter was cleaning in her room, reorganizing her wardrobe, and she handed me back, this is just a small selection, she handed me back a lot of hangers, because she has these white wooden IKEA ones and she likes everything to match and look good. So she gave me back these ones, and some of them I keep in the laundry for hanging up shirts as soon as they come out of the washer. We don't have a dryer. But the ones that come from this kind and the wire kind that come from the dry cleaners, you know, if, my husband wears suits to work, those need to be dry cleaned occasionally, and they come back from the dry cleaners, and those are going into the recycling. We've actually got a plastic recycle bin and a metal recycle bin, so I'm just going to break that up and put that in the recycling. The other ones I shall keep, but you know, we have quite a lot of those and the wire ones, and they're no use to anybody, so get them out, because you know what coat hangers are like. They tend to multiply when you turn your back. Right, what next? Oh, here's something. Something that has just been given to me. One of my best friends, you know, one of the ones that I winter bathe with, you know, we skinny dip every morning in the Danish Sea. She was decluttering in her house. She watches these videos too, which is quite funny. We only speak Danish together, so she thinks it's so funny to hear me speaking English. And she was decluttering. She's doing this, you know, with me, you know, doing the one item a day. And she found this hair product that she doesn't use, but she had passed it on to us because she knows that I, you know, I blow dry my hair every day. And this is a heat protection styling spray. So I have gained a bit with somebody else's decluttering. So that I'm going to hang on to. What else have we got? Oh, yes. When we were in our Swedish cabin last week with the kids, I was in the shed and I found this. Now, this is a solar powered water sprinkler. You know, you can put it in a tub, and when the sun comes out, you know, there's water shoots out. And now, it had an accident with the lawnmower, and the cable, can you see that? The cable got kind of cut, and I said to myself, oh, I might fix that. Now, when did I say that? That was probably last summer. Never got round to fixing it, so it's anti-procrastination day today. If I'm going to try and fix it with a bit of electrician's tape, and if not, today is the day. Then it goes out into recycling. We also have electrical recycling here, so any electrical goods can go into recycling. So that is on my to-do today list. Anti-procrastination day is Wednesday. And oh, now here's a funny, I think it's a funny one. A plastic spoon. Now, I was with my kids in Sweden last week. It's the end of the school holidays. And we went out and we were shopping at a Swedish mall, and we got our lunch there, and we all had different things. You know, I had the Thai thing, my daughter had some kind of sandwich thing. Anyway, you know, we got our food and this spoon came with it. And my immediate reaction, because I didn't use the spoon for my food, my immediate reaction was to put it in my handbag. And I really had to stop myself because I thought, why am I, you know, like a little squirrel, you know, hoarding all these plastic spoons that, you know, things like plastic spoons, ketchup packets, you know, little packets of salt and pepper. So I was very good, and I put it back because it was going, in Sweden they recycle everything as well, even at the mall, you know, once you've had your food, it's into plastic and paper and cardboard. But I actually took the spoon anyway because I wanted it to remind me to tell you that this is an item that I am no longer bringing these things home from restaurants. You know, I've got a small stash of them in the kitchen. They live with our packed lunch things. So, you know, I have a couple of plastic spoons for days that, you know, we decide to have a picnic, but I do not need to take them back home from restaurants. Okay, I'm talking to myself here. You know when I'm making these videos, I'm talking to myself. So do not take home any more of these plastic spoons or stuff. So that's for plastic recycling. Oh yes, another thing. Now I just put them in these boxes so they wouldn't get lost. Let me put the bag down. I don't think there was anything else in there. Oh yes, there's one more thing. Yeah, two more things. What time is? Oh yeah, we've got a couple of minutes left. When we were in Sweden, you know, I've got a Swedish purse and I've got a Danish purse, and my Swedish, I should say a Swedish wallet. I keep my Swedish bank card in there, and I've got some loyalty cards. And I noticed that these Swedish loyalty cards that I have, they had expired, or they just don't work anymore. And they were on this little kind of hanger, you know, and I've got one for the DIY shop. And I thought, why have I been carrying these loyalty cards around when they are out of date and they don't work? But, you know, it was only when I kind of cleaned out my Swedish handbag that I realised I've been doing that. So those I'm going to cut, and those are also going to go in plastic recycling. And two more things, and then I'll wrap it up. Now, this is something, when we came back from our holidays, our vacation in the States, we came back and we had a lot of dollars. And usually I would, you know, and I've got a box where I keep all different currencies. You know, I've got euros for when we are in the south of France, when we go to Nice, and I've got some dollars if we're traveling to the States, and, you know, British money for when I go and see Mum in Scotland. And I thought about it that we are not going to the States again anytime soon. You know, we went over to pick up my son who had been there for 10 months. We do not have any trips planned to the States, and the next place I want to go is Tokyo, back to Tokyo again. So instead of putting the dollars into that thing with the currency, I took it back to the bank and I got it changed back, and it's back in my account, because we're kind of good customers of the bank, so we don't actually pay any charges for having currency, you know, for buying currency or selling currency. So instead of me hoarding that money here, you know, dollars that I'm not going to be using for probably not another year and a half, I just took it back to the bank, it's in my account, and it's done. So maybe you've got some currency lying over, you know, from your holidays or whatever it is. So that was just a little thing that came up this week. And the last thing is, I was out in the garden and we have quite a few IKEA lanterns. And this one, and I don't really want to put down on my desk because it's a bit dirty, but somehow this one has just, now IKEA products are really good. You've seen my house, our house is full of IKEA products. But this lantern, I think I maybe bought 3 or 4 years, and we have our lanterns out all year long. In Denmark we like hygge, we like to make things all kind of cozy. So in the winter we have, you know, the lanterns burning outside so I can see it from the kitchen when I'm doing the washing up. But this one has just rotted, I don't know if you can see that, right at the top, and I don't know when that happened, just suddenly I saw it. So I'm not holding on to that. As usual, we have lots of recycle bins here outside our house. You know, they come and collect them every 3 or 4 weeks. So the metal lantern is going to go in the metal holder, and I'll just smash the glass, and the glass goes in with the bottles and jars. So that is what I've managed to do since last week. There have been some other things, but those were just things. Hopefully I'll give you some ideas of what you have lying in your house. You know, every time you open a drawer, you know, it's kitchen week. Every time you open a kitchen drawer, is there something in there that you're not using? And the last thing, because we are coming up for 15 minutes, and I want to keep this video to 15 minutes, or I've had the time, we're going for 15 minutes. It is Wednesday, and oh, sorry, it's a bit bright in here today. Yeah, well, shouldn't complain. I look like I've got, you know, the light coming down from the angels above me. Or maybe I'm going to be beamed up. Beam me up, Scotty. It's Wednesday, which is anti-procrastination day. So maybe you've been procrastinating on starting to declutter. If you have, you know, take your timer, you know, just set it for 5 minutes. And if you can't do 5 minutes, because I know decluttering is really tough for a lot of you, just do 2 minutes. You know, and then take a break, and if you can do another 2 minutes, that'd be fine. Anything's a bonus. And give yourself a pat on the back when you've done it. Okay, don't let people say to you, oh, but that's not really much. Just celebrate every single piece of paper that is leaving your house, or every 2 minutes that you spend working in a hotspot. Anyway, I was going to tell you what I'm doing for my anti-procrastination task today. And if you don't know what anti-procrastination day is, I've got a little playlist of all the Flylady's basic weekly plan. Basically, it's the day that you do the things that you've been putting off. And one of them is to fix this necklace. You may have seen me wearing it before in some of my other videos. The little hook broke on it, so it's only going to take me like 30 seconds to do it, but it's been lying in my bedroom. I've been procrastinating, so that I'm going to do. Oh, and I'm also going to try and attempt to fix this with electrician's tape. If I don't get it working, out it goes into electrical recycling. And the last thing is, which I actually already added first thing this morning. As some of you know, I turned 50 at the end of June. And when we came back from our vacation in the States, there were a few birthday cards waiting for me, and one of the other things was from the hospital service here. You know, a very good national health service, and because I turned 50, I get the letter that I am invited to send off a sample because they are doing screening for colon cancer. And you know, we always do all those things. You know, we've got all our vaccinations and all those things up to date, and I'm happy to get anything, you know, screened and all our checks. So if you have been putting off getting some kind of medical check, dentist, maybe now is the time to pick up the phone and make the appointment. That's another thing. I got a reminder about my dentist appointment. I'm going to do that today. And I know it's a lot, it's too much information, but I actually read what I had to do to send off this sample, and I did it this morning. I'm about to post it, and it is done. So there you are, and it's bare all time here. So anyway, that was it for what I've decluttered this week. I hope you got some ideas for that. Have a great anti-procrastination Wednesday. Hope you get some of those tasks that you've been putting off. Please go and do them, especially anything to do with self-care. You know, you've really got to look after yourself, okay? So anyway, that's it for me. Diane in Denmark. I shall see you tomorrow, or I shall see you on Instagram, because everybody's been posting with what they're doing, decluttering. It's great, so you can come and join us there. And I shall see you tomorrow on Thursday. And that's it. Okay, yeah, I managed at least to keep it under 20 minutes. Okay, see you tomorrow. Bye for now, and live long and prosper. And goodbye from Bunny Clock and me.